What if the secret to financial success has been overlooked for centuries? What if hidden in ancient scriptures are principles that can radically transform your financial future? Today, we're exploring 5 powerful biblical laws that people often ignore but are essential for achieving lasting financial success. Stay tuned until the end for practical steps to apply these overlooked biblical principles in your daily life. But before we begin, take a moment to subscribe and walk with us as we uncover the sacred mysteries within God's Word. The law of honoring God first. Let's start with a principle that might seem counterintuitive at first. Proverbs chapter 3, verses 9 through 10 tells us, "Honor the Lord with your wealth and with the first fruits of all your produce. Then your barns will be filled with plenty, and your vats will be bursting with wine." This isn't just about tithing, folks. It's about aligning your entire financial approach with God's values. It means prioritizing giving, generosity, and purpose over accumulation. When you honor God with the first fruits of your earnings, you're demonstrating faith that He will provide for your needs. But what does this look like in practice? It's about more than just dropping money in the collection plate on Sunday. It's about cultivating a mindset of stewardship, recognizing that everything we have is ultimately a gift from God, entrusted to us for a purpose. Take the example of Dan Cathy, CEO of Chick-fil-A. Despite facing criticism, the company has maintained its policy of closing on Sundays to honor the Sabbath. This decision, which prioritizes faith over profits, hasn't hindered their success. In fact, Chick-fil-A consistently outperforms other fast food chains in per-store sales. But it's not just big corporations that can apply this principle. Consider Sarah, a small business owner who decided to tithe 10% of her profits to her local church and community outreach programs. Despite initial fears about the impact on her bottom line, she found that her business began to thrive in unexpected ways. New opportunities opened up, her customer base grew, and she felt a deeper sense of purpose in her work. Action step. Start by allocating a percentage of your income to honor God. This could be through tithing, supporting causes you believe in, or helping those in need. Make it a priority, not an afterthought. Consider setting up automatic transfers to ensure you're consistently putting this principle into practice. The law of delayed gratification. Our next principle comes from Proverbs chapter 21, verse 5. "The plans of the diligent lead surely to abundance, but everyone who is hasty comes only to poverty." In our instant gratification culture, this principle is more relevant than ever. Financial success often hinges on our ability to resist quick rewards in favor of building wealth over time. It's about playing the long game, understanding that true financial stability and success don't happen overnight. Remember the story of Jacob and Esau? Esau traded his birthright for a bowl of stew. Talk about a raw deal. This biblical account illustrates how impatience can lead to lasting loss. Esau was so focused on satisfying his immediate hunger that he failed to consider the long-term consequences of his decision. We see this principle at work in modern finance too. Credit card debt is a perfect example of the opposite of delayed gratification. People buy things they can't afford, satisfying immediate desires but creating long-term financial strain. Warren Buffett, one of the world's most successful investors, embodies this principle. He's famous for his long-term investment strategy, often holding on to stocks for decades. His patience and discipline have led to extraordinary wealth. Buffett once said, "Someone's sitting in the shade today because someone planted a tree a long time ago." This perfectly captures the essence of delayed gratification in financial planning. But you don't have to be a billionaire investor to apply this principle. Consider the case of John and Mary, a young couple who decided to live below their means for several years. They drove older cars, lived in a modest apartment, and avoided expensive vacations. Instead, they invested the money they saved. 10 years later, they had a substantial down payment for their dream home and a healthy investment portfolio. Action step. Practice financial discipline. Set aside money for the future, avoid impulsive purchases, and focus on long-term goals. Next time you're tempted by an unnecessary purchase, ask yourself if it aligns with your long-term financial objectives. Try the 30-day rule. When you want to buy something non-essential, wait 30 days. If you still want it after that time and it fits your budget, then consider the purchase. The law of generational wealth. Proverbs chapter 13, verse 22 says, "A good man leaves an inheritance to his children's children." This principle encourages us to think beyond our own lifetime and make financial decisions that will bless future generations. This isn't just about leaving money to your kids, it's about building a legacy of financial wisdom and stability. It involves investing in education, passing down assets, and teaching children financial literacy. It's about creating a foundation that future generations can build upon. The Rockefeller family is a prime example of generational wealth. John D. Rockefeller not only built an immense fortune, but also established trusts and foundations that have benefited multiple generations and continue to have a positive impact today. But it wasn't just about money. The Rockefellers also passed down values of philanthropy and social responsibility. But you don't need to be a Rockefeller to apply this principle. Take the story of the Garcia family. They weren't wealthy, but they prioritized education and financial literacy. The parents worked hard to provide opportunities for their children, teaching them about budgeting, saving, and investing from a young age. They set up small savings accounts for each child and matched their contributions. As adults, all three Garcia children are financially stable and are now teaching these same principles to their own kids. Generational wealth isn't just about passing down money, it's about passing down knowledge, values, and opportunities. It's about equipping future generations with the tools they need to build their own success. Action step. Start building your legacy plan. Save for your children's future, teach them financial responsibility, and make long-term investment decisions that will outlast your lifetime. Consider setting up a family trust or investment fund that can benefit future generations. Most importantly, have open conversations about money with your children. Teach them the value of work, the importance of saving, and the power of compound interest. The law of humility in wealth. James chapter 4, verse 10 reminds us, "Humble yourselves before the Lord, and He will exalt you." This principle is crucial in the pursuit and possession of wealth. The Bible warns against pride and encourages believers to remain humble, trusting that God will elevate them in His time. Success doesn't come from boasting or greed, but from a humble attitude and gratitude for God's provision. In a world that often equates wealth with worth, this principle can be challenging to apply. We're bombarded with images of lavish lifestyles and encouraged to flaunt our success. But true wealth, according to biblical principles, is about stewardship rather than status. Consider the example of David Green, founder of Hobby Lobby. Despite building a multi-billion-dollar company, Green maintains a modest lifestyle and attributes his success to God's blessing. His humility has led to greater influence and opportunities to make a positive impact. Green once said, "We believe that it is by God's grace that we have been able to give billions of dollars away to charity." Contrast this with the cautionary tale of King Nebuchadnezzar in the book of Daniel. When he boasted about his great wealth and power, he was humbled by God and lost everything. It was only when he acknowledged God's sovereignty that his kingdom was restored. Humility in wealth also means recognizing our interconnectedness and the role others play in our success. It means treating employees, customers, and even competitors with respect and fairness. Action step. Practice gratitude daily. Remember that wealth is a tool for greater service, not a reason for personal pride. Consider keeping a gratitude journal where you regularly acknowledge God's blessings in your life. Look for opportunities to use your resources to lift others up rather than to elevate yourself. When you achieve a financial goal, take time to thank those who helped you along the way. The law of integrity in finances. Our final principle comes from Proverbs chapter 11, verse 1. A false balance is an abomination to the Lord, but a just weight is his delight. This verse emphasizes the importance of integrity in all financial dealings. The Bible consistently promotes fairness, honesty, and justice in handling money and business. Shortcuts, dishonesty, and unethical practices might seem like an easy way to gain wealth, but they ultimately lead to ruin. In today's complex financial world, maintaining integrity can be challenging. We're often faced with gray areas and pressures to cut corners. But this principle reminds us that God values honesty above profit. Take the cautionary tale of Enron. This energy company was once considered one of the most innovative companies in America. However, their fraudulent accounting practices led to one of the biggest corporate scandals in history, resulting in the company's bankruptcy and criminal charges for its executives. The short-term gains they achieved through dishonesty led to long-term devastation, not just for the company, but for thousands of employees and investors. On the flip side, companies like Patagonia have thrived due to their commitment to ethical practices and transparency. Their integrity has not only led to financial success, but also to a loyal customer base and positive global impact. Patagonia's founder, Yvon Chouinard, once said, "The more you know, the less you need." This philosophy has guided the company to make ethical decisions, even when they might seem to conflict with profit. Integrity in finances also extends to personal money management. It means being honest on your tax returns, not taking advantage of others in financial transactions, and fulfilling your financial commitments. Action step: evaluate your financial decisions, whether in business or personal life, and ensure they're built on honesty and fairness, even if it means short-term sacrifice. Be transparent in your dealings and prioritize long-term reputation over short-term gains. If you're in a leadership position, create a culture of integrity in your organization. Remember, your financial dealings are a reflection of your character and your faith. There you have it. 5 overlooked biblical laws for financial success. Honoring God first, practicing delayed gratification, building generational wealth, maintaining humility, and upholding integrity in all financial dealings. Which of these principles have you been ignoring? I challenge you to take action today. Choose one of these laws and implement it in your financial life starting now.